of the best grooming products for you. Yes, all natural and handcrafted too. We wanna help be your swagger, your style, class, and luxury. We make our products tailor-made for you with high quality. Yeah. So get in style with the Black Grooming Company. To give you swagger, style, class, and luxury. Yeah. The Black Gentleman Grooming Company. To give you swagger, style, class, and luxury. Yeah.
Located at www.theblackgent.com.
Yo. What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to Stormybman's Boxing Raps, the last Crescendo boxing card. This was to be a show to talk about the card that's coming up Saturday, February 22nd. And though there have been some adjustments to the card, it's still going down, and it's still the best show around. Yeah, man, there's going to be some exciting bouts all lined up for Saturday, including the adjustments that have been made on a couple of fights for the card. I don't believe that there has been any drop-off, and that's an exciting thing, because when we have those situations where the drop-off takes place, it can be a little bit of a pain in the behind, but we're going to have a full show. Now, according to what I looked at, it's going to begin as early as 9:30 a.m. Central Time. That'll probably be the prelims before the main card. What they call it, the before the bell. But it's an amazing card, man, and we're all excited for it. I want to welcome everybody that's out there. Kind of struggling a little bit today, but it's okay. I'm still here, and I found this little backdrop of the poster image for the fight card. And if you guys are looking at that poster like I am, it's like, man, that's kind of cool, right? Where they took some old vintage type epic type drawings when they would have the what do you call it, like the godlike beings in the clouds and facing off. Pretty cool. The Saudis have done an amazing job of advertising boxing. If you haven't had a chance to see the trailer for the main event, Better Be versus Bivol 2, the rematch, quite an outstanding piece of work that they've put together. They've been very creative with putting trailers together for each of the Riyadh season events, and I enjoy it. I really enjoy it, and that's the way boxing should be profiled, especially when you're getting the quality of the sport. It needs to come across that way. It's just like when the NFL does their advertisements for their games, or the NBA. What we used to see is they would have their own theme music, and they would show certain highlight clips that would get you pumped up for your favorites. It appears that Turkey has taken that in, being a fan of sports, and he's applied that particular philosophy to the sport of boxing. And we readily receive that and look for more, look forward to more. So yeah, let's talk about that a little bit this evening. Um, I would even I see we got a few people out there. Let me go to the chat and kind of go through, see who we got in the building this evening. We got Shower out there. What's good with you, Shower? Chilltown Majors in the building. 88 Sports Talk is out there. Jamal Davis in the building. What's happening? Eric Jordan, my brother, is in the building this evening. What's happening with you, Eric? And salute to everybody else out there that's kind of like right now peeping through the blinds in the bushes, as y'all know them to do, huh? Take your fingers out of your behind and clean them off, and hit the like button for Stormy B-Man, huh? Yeah. But Shower, you've been doing some great work out there. I really appreciate your contributions. Let me see. I'm gonna try to do something here. Let's see. I'm gonna see if I could do this. Let's see here. Will it let me do this? I'll see. Let's see here. Email. Let's see here. I'll try it this way. Let's see here. We'll see if that works. I'm not sure because I'm on a different app this evening. Chiquila is out there this evening. What's happening with you, Chiquila? King Styles Productions in the building. Mr. Shelton is out there. You're gonna have to take me. Yes, sir. Shout out to Dolomite, huh? Yeah. So Shower, check the email. And then I'm going to also see here. This might work. Let's see here. Whatever man has popped into the building, what's happening with you? We're talking about this fight card, man. We can start off. Let's just get the dirt out of the way, man. Let's start off with this foolishness here, huh? Let's start off with this foolishness right here, you guys. How many people out there in the chat feel like this was a sham from the beginning, from this side of the promotion? Put a 1 in the chat if you think that this was a sham from the beginning. Hmm? But this image here, right? I put it up on the screen for a reason, man. And I'm going to do a video that I'll upload to Patreon because I got a lot to say about this, and it's nothing kind, especially from the Schofield side and camp. So it won't be on YouTube when I do this video because I am going in. I'm really sick and tired of a lot of this foolishness. It seemed to hit its apex last April with Ryan Garcia. And so I'll have some things to say about this, but this was just, I don't know. This is just and then of course, you know, the reports that came that there was absolutely nothing wrong by the physicians to report that there was absolutely nothing wrong with this young man. And then there were some so-called apologies that came down from his dad, his overseer. This has to stop. This has to stop, man. When you start bringing this type of representation into the sport, you'll mess up the bag for everybody. Period. You know how you have something going on and you say, don't invite cousin so-and-so, or make sure you don't invite so-and-so, because if they show up, everything gonna go to crap. This is what you're seeing in the sport of boxing, especially with no one doing the things that they should be doing. The sport has already been bad with not enough of the prime fighters. I won't even call them elite, but the prime fighters not facing one another. Then you have stuff like this where they never really intended to have a representation on this card. Missing the original presser, the opening presser to advertise the event. They didn't show up. And the excuses that they gave, how is it that Shakur Stevenson camp all of a sudden he's got 20 fights in his career? Now all of a sudden he has access and abilities to infiltrate people's homes and pulling passports and, you know, sabotaging cars. And I mean, this is, you know what? It's not even funny, people. It's not funny. And people who start to create these sideshow antics, salute to Tequila, because you're right, it's a sideshow. You gotta get rid of these folks. They shouldn't even be allowed to participate in these events. It's ridiculous. Steph Brown, what's happening with you? Yeah. Why? But we need to talk about it. Salute to my brother Eric out there in that Cash App. He says, for Schofield makes Itty Cuz have the ninja sword. Listen, man, I really don't like how that went down. I don't like the aftermath of it. I don't accept the apology from the dad for all that foolishness, because you know what? You're insulting my intelligence, first of all, that you would create such a narrative and story to support why you are not going to go through with the match. Do you know how many fighters could have been selected for this opportunity? If they were able to get this young man, Josh Padley, 3 days before the match, they could have got someone else. You ruined 12 weeks of preparation and everything only to not want to go through this process. F plus. And that F stands for far more than fail. That F should be for your career. It is time to take back integrity. It is time to take back professionalism. It is time to display dignity. This new age of doing what you do and try to pass it off as, oh, I am trolling. Oh, it was just a game. Life is not a damn game. It is not. You see, because you could end up like this on this image for real, messing with the wrong people in life. It's the type of thing that I spew out of my mouth when I see these guys. I said the same thing about Ryan Garcia. I'm saying it about this man, and there's a few others out here, and Tank Davis is hellified on his way the same. But you guys can't see that. If you get rid of all of this fat, trim it, you will have a harvest of wonderful contributions to this sport. Yeah. And these fathers who are participating in the sport and misleading their young sons, because when you put them in the amateurs, that was one thing. But this is the professional aspect of the sport. And you have no experience, you have no knowledge, and you're rubbing elbows with the wrong people. And this kind of foolishness is created as a result of it. Jamal Davis says some of these guys need to leave boxing and find another career. Seriously, they are wasting time and money, etc. Listen, man, you know, listen. Not only is that true, but these are the kind of people that can't hold a job, man. A regular job. They can't. misfits in society. Get them the hell out of the way for people who are productive and want something out of life. Chilltown Majors. He says, Shakur Stevenson had doubts that he would do something to pull out of the fight. Yeah. Because he realizes the differences between professionals and pretending folk. Kenny Drake is saying Schofield may never get a shot. I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't. It's a waste of time. The only shot he should be looking to get is when someone lays some hot lead, huh? Because this is the kind of thing, like I said, you could end up like that for real. Do you know the alleged people that are involved in boxing will not take kindly to this? Shaquila says, it's time to learn what those terms mean. 100%. 100%. You see, Daniel Dubois had to pull out, which is very unfortunate because we were really looking forward to the heavyweight match between he and Joseph Parker. But apparently some type of viral infection or something like that has pulled him away from the fight. Now that can happen. Unfortunately, it happened here. You know, guys are traveling from different places in the world, and the weather and climate change can do that to your system, especially if it's not something that you're accustomed to doing. And a lot of these fighters, they're not really accustomed to traveling like that. But this is why you're supposed to get your rest and eat properly, dress properly, because something can happen. You know, you could be fine and within hours have an onset of something. It doesn't have to be anyone in your camp. It could be people that, because you know they have to go and sit down and have media day and talk to these reporters and stuff. And I'm going to tell you something. Those reporters, all of them ain't extra clean. They're not. You got people out here that go to the restroom and won't wash their hands, but they always trying to shake your hand. Don't get me started talking about them, because I hurt a whole lot of feelings. Steph Brown says, yeah, Sensei, despicable stuff this fight week. No integrity, unprofessionalism at its finest here. Unfortunately, in my opinion, I wouldn't want Eddie Cuz to fight anyway. Waste of time. Oh, I want him to fight. I want him to fight. it's just interesting that he never circled back to Joe Cordina, even though that's who he was supposed to face back in October, and decided to pull out of that himself due to an alleged hand injury. But as soon as his hand was going to be good to go to fight, he was talking about Zepeda all of a sudden. Then Zepeda ducked him after the loss of face against Tevin Farmer. Why didn't you recircle back to Joe Cordina? See, nobody's asking that question. But Josh Padley is going to step in. Kudos to Padley. I'm familiar with him. I've reported on his fights. If you don't know about him, oh well. Maybe you could have found out a little bit more about him instead of reading all these and watching all these videos on Tank Davis, huh? Who ain't doing a damn thing himself. Yeah. Kenny Drake is asking, what does Tank have to do with anything? Nothing. Absolutely. Huh? He doesn't have anything to do with anything. That's why I said people, they spend so much time talking about him. These fighters who are on this card listed have been put in place and positioned by the Saudis to display the best of what boxing has to offer at their respective weight divisions at this particular time. To bring together Matchroom, Queensberry, Boxer, Golden Boy, Top Rank, Solita Promotions. These are entities that would not ordinarily mesh and come together regularly. And they're doing this for a card that is so special that with all the talent that is available for this coming Saturday, you only will have to pay $25 on pay-per-view. Now, I want to ask Kenny Drake, how much you going to pay for Tank versus Roach? Amazon Prime, pay-per-view. How much? You see, you can mention people when you're making valid points, but you don't live vicariously through them when they're not doing anything, but causing more and more dissension and confusion, especially for the least of knowledge, because the least of knowledge go on what's right before them. Do you know that the average person today doesn't want to look anything up I ask people to smash the like button. They'll come in here and start writing in the chat and making sarcastic remarks and everything without having hit the like button or even greet it properly. Where's the respect? But you can run around and say that and laugh out loud about your little remarks and everything, but you can't hold yourself in check to be respectful. This is why I speak to you like I do and don't have no respect for you. The hell you coming around here for? There are plenty of places that will pay and pay you off with what you're looking for and play those games with you. Anyway, the other big change that has taken place as I said earlier, Martin Bacoli will be stepping in since Daniel Dubois cannot defend his IBF title Saturday. Bacoli has been wanting to fight one of the top heavyweights after defeating Jared Anderson last summer. And now it looks like he's going to get a good shot, because he's going to take on Joseph Parker, who, word has it, he asked for Bacoli. And if he did, kudos to Parker. Both fighters are 33 years of age. 2 inches separate them in height. However, the real experience goes to Parker, and Bacoli is going to have to live up to the reputation that came out of his victory over Jared Anderson, which is really looking less and less like a huge win. He has a majority decision over Tony Yoka. If any of you know who Tony Yoka is, that's a fighter that could have been brought in on this card to face Parker as well. See, I'm not sold on someone just because they stop a guy who could have possibly gotten stopped by anyone that had any ability to fight back, punch, and desire to win. So he's going to come back and fight Parker on 2 days' notice. Okay, good. If Parker wins spectacularly with a knockout or something, we know that Bacoli, 1, wasn't prepared, didn't have enough timeliness to be prepared for the fight. 2, may not have been as advertised, which I'm leaning toward 2. And if Parker is successful in this, that does not have anything to do with the possibilities of what he could do against Daniel Dubois. Hopefully that fight can still be made in the future. There's a lot of pretenders in the sport of boxing. And the reason that they exist so comfortably in the sport is because they haven't been put to task to face the challenges that will provide legitimacy of who they are. Beating a bunch of stiffs and rehashed fighters that are not full-time dedicated sportsmen because they have regular day jobs. That only tells me that you can impose yourself on someone that's lesser. But what about someone who has a greater fire burning in the belly than what you display? Somebody who really wants to change the quality of their lifestyle. And even Joseph Parker, who had a rematch clause with Zhilei Zhang from their March fight last year, 2024, though he spoke about he'd face anybody, and that the rematch with Zhang was a possibility, he sure didn't make it. I don't believe that's all on Zhang, because Zhang is about to fight a younger, more fit fighter. Ajit Kabiel is 32 with a record of 25-0. But he knows how to fight big guys. And just because he happens to be another fighter out of Germany and you don't know him, doesn't mean he should be dismissed. There's a lot going on. A lot. put that link in there. Someone would like to join to talk about this fight card. Shawa, I had sent you a direct email because I know you've had a lot to say. And your voice would be welcome to join that conversation. Personally, I think when we're talking about the entire card overall, there's a few fights that should be watched out for here. One is definitely the match with Virgil Ortiz and Israel Madrimov. That's a very good fight. And if Virgil had troubles with Sergey Bohachuk, he's going to have some problems with Israel Madrimov, who is a cut above Bohachuk. The Joshua Buatsi fight with Callum Smith. That's a light heavyweight battle that should not be glossed over. It's a UK fight between two men. One has had an opportunity already against Beterbiev and Callum Smith, and Buatsi has squandered time. You see, and that's very interesting. Good evening, Shaw. We're glad to see you. How you doing this evening?
Good. How are you doing, Stormy?
I'm doing pretty good. Forgive me, I just got this image up here. I'll take it down.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, but I like the poster. I love that artwork.
Me too.
They've been doing some great advertising with what's happening over there with their events in Saudi. I give them a lot of credit for being so creative,
Yeah, it's nice. I really like it.
Yeah.
How you doing, Stormy?
But yeah, listen, I wanted to ask you, I opened up the show talking about Schofield.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts on the foolishness that brought about what happened with that?
You have to forgive me too, because I was knocked out and the show came on. I woke up. Oh man, it's a lot. I feel bad for the kid. I feel like he's an adult, and he also should have had the ability to. I say this, but I just have a lot of feelings about his story. But he should have just he should have went ahead and fought that fight, because this is not, it's not ever gonna go away. It's always gonna be there.
It's not going away, and because this is why I'm going to do a Patreon video on it, because it's not a lot that I can say that's nice. You know what I mean?
That's how I feel, but I try.
And the thing about it is, what he has done, he's hurt money for other fighters already. He don't know it, but he has. You see, and 78 touched on this earlier. You're not Ryan Garcia. You don't have the privilege that Ryan has. But the whole narrative that his dad and he have built up behind this particular promotion, leading up until the fact that they pulled out of the fight, the lies, somebody messing with their car, somebody did something with their passport, and all of this. When is that foolishness going to stop? When are people going to be held accountable? When you can get on the air and just lie.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
All of a sudden, wait a minute. All of a sudden, fighters got access to other people's lives to create issues for them. You know, I'm gonna take your main page out of your passport. I'm gonna do really breaking in your house. Really?
It's BS.
But this stuff, and see, people let Ryan get away with all those lies when he cheated Devin. Fact of the matter was, he didn't make the contracted weight and he tested positive. And out of testing positive, he pleaded for mercy at the court. In other words, he acknowledged that he did cheat. That's not perjury. He acknowledged, yes, I did. Behind in the judge's chambers, that when they were there, he admitted to his wrongdoing. You still got people out here defending the guy. And it's time for that type of foolishness to go away. It's time for it to go away. Where's the integrity for the sport? We already have to deal with alleged corruption. That's an unseen hand. And it affects so many fights, so many fighters, so many different ways, whether it's judging, performance and effort,
Outcomes,
you know, the money that is due and all of that stuff. It's like people don't understand. This is like, there's a true wickedness that happens with this sport because it doesn't have regulation. But when you get two idiots like these guys doing what they were doing, do you know how, and the weeks have passed fast, because you remember they did the first presser, right, to announce the event. Yes. They didn't even show up for that.
Correct. That's when the bull crap started about the past, man. Yeah. And more. And
once
more.
it gets like that, it's like, okay, because even though Shakur said what he said, I was thinking it the whole time.
Me too.
Because it's like this was an opportunity for them to swim in the big sea, you know? And they failed. They failed.
From the outset, right there, missing that first,
So you can't give, I'm sorry, you don't get a second chance to make a first impression.
Nope.
The impression that you gave me smacks of boo-boo. That's what I see and smell when I see these guys. And I'd rather not see them at all and move on to someone who's more game, someone who wants more out of the sport and out of life than to be dwelling, you see? Because when you're dwelling with them, you're dwelling in the sewer.
That's why I'm not mad about Padley getting chosen. I'm not.
No, not at all. And at least Padley, I believe they said he's an electrician. He accepted listen, he's like, I'm going to give it a shot. That doesn't mean he's going in there to whoop Shakur. That means that as a professional, he's going to get life-changing money. You might as well give it a shot. You might as well come in and do your best.
Why not? Yeah.
You know, and people can say what they want, but see, what I attacked with Shakur from a different angle, I said, why did he go the route of Schofield anyway? Why didn't he rotate round back to Joe Cordina, who was his original opponent back in October?
Okay, yeah, this is when I woke up when you were talking about that. Man, I that's what I say. It's just so much behind all of this, even with the Cordina, because Shakur ducked Cordina before at 130, came up here. Cordina still want to fight you. Somehow, like you said, that just gets muddled up in the wash somewhere, and it switches to Zepeda. It's just all. And then why did you skip all the way down? I mean, I know the boy was calling him out, so maybe that had something to do with it. The boy calling him out for a couple of years, a year and a half or something, and he figured he'd give him a shot.
Fighters get called out all the time.
Yeah.
Whether it's somebody who could realistically be opponent or unrealistically be opponent. How many fighters that unrealistically have Tio called out? Unrealistically.
That's
what I'm saying. You see, so he didn't have to address that. He didn't even have to put focus on that.
That's true.
He was looking for a soft spot. And I'm saying this about Shitty Cuz. He was looking for a soft spot. But in the UK, outside of Cordina, there are several other fighters that if he had told Hearn, I'm willing to take on one of your guys over here, you know, Hearn would have made sure he got word to the guys and they could start getting in shape and everything, and it would have been what it was going to be.
I forgot who's even ahead of who was ahead of if it's for the title, I forgot who was ahead of him. But if he's down to number 12, there's so many 10, 11 individuals you skipped over. And yeah,
it's really a questionable thing when these guys decide that they want to pick and choose, huh? Because we just saw Keyshawn defeat Dennis Berenchek.
Yes.
But before that fight was made, Shakur could have told Hearn that, hey man, I wanna unify with somebody.
Stormy. Whew. With who? One is missing in action, one is unwilling.
Remember, he told Hearn, don't talk to Javante. He told him, this was last year.
Yeah, I do.
Before the fight with Cordina.
I remember that.
He told him, don't talk to him. They never really made a pass at Vasily. Zepeda had not yet fought Tevin Farmer, but then when they did try to say that they was trying to approach Zepeda, he made the deal with the Farmer.
Yeah, I was thinking about that when you briefly brought up Zepeda too. It's a lot of weird stuff going on with these guys.
Yep.
I name off people that I would like to see just honestly leave the sport, or just drop the belts and let the guys who want the belts fight for them, and stop acting. Zepeda can get in on that bunch too at this rate, because I'm curious what he's gonna look like, because they're rematching, correct?
Yeah, and Shakur, listen, he could have. Listen, you know how you take it out of Zepeda's hands? He could have made Tevin Farmer an offer.
I thought about that too.
Yeah.
Why not?
Now, would you rather see him fight Tevin Farmer? Yeah.
Then Schofield?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And Farmer is an experienced former world title holder and a great, boxing fighter. Southpaw, it's like, okay, why aren't these fights being made? They're not being made because you got certain individuals, they're out here and they're trying to live under a microscope where everything appears to be okay and they're taken care of, but it's not. That's not what it truly is. These guys are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, but they could give you the impression that, nobody wants to fight me and this and that. This is why I started to use the term legitimacy along with legacy. Because, see, legacy happens in a natural sense, but legitimacy happens spontaneously. Like, you make a certain fight, you make it, and then we could see what you really working with. We could see who you really are, but we'll never discover those things in these 80-20 and 90-10 matchups that
Right.
these promoters have been putting them in all the doggone time.
That's what I was gonna say. Some of it is manipulation too, with certain individuals like Oscar. I'm tired of not saying that man's name. I'm tired of tippy-toeing about how I be feeling, because these people are just they ruin what can really be a great sport by manipulation, by doing all the little dirty things they're paying. Some of these people popping up in the rankings and you don't know where they came from, making fights like the Shakur and Schofield. Why? And the funny thing was that Oscar said no in the first place. Stick to your guns, because now look at this. It's just a mess. And it's to go back to those two. All that stuff they did, and then last night I was talking to someone, and to find out that he came out and just copped deuces and said, "Oh, it was a mistake. I'm sorry. I didn't mean what I said about it. I didn't." You don't get to just do that, dude.
No.
And it's I really think it's his father. I mean, you still
you can't run around and tell somebody that they've committed crimes and then come back
slander.
and apologize. You know, it didn't really go down like that. There should be some kind of penance for you for doing that. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he could be sued technically. He could have been sued.
Well, it's easy to say the word sue. It's easy
Mhm.
because, you know, here in America,
Mhm.
that's part of the DNA and fabric of this nation. People need to freaking pay. Not necessarily in the court of law, but you need to pay penance for doing obstructing the law, doing these things. Understand, like over there in Saudi, what they do when you steal and stuff, they cut your hand off, right? Okay, you ain't gonna do that no more, at least not with that hand. You're gonna be around here
Right.
looking like Han from Enter the Dragon. Yeah, but you're gonna find a way to stop doing that quickly when you are held to the letter of the law. See, over here, we've had too much provision. We've had too much, give them a pass and all of that. I'm sorry. If you want society to tighten up, do these things, and I guarantee you things will tighten up real quick.
Yeah, I agree with that. But with that being said, then what happens? What happens with Schofield? What is his what
Go
happens?
get a job. Go get a job.
Just get on out the
Because it's
sport?
obvious that he ain't cut for this.
No.
He's not.
Now, if he was willing to get away from his father, what do you think about that?
Listen.
'Cause honestly, I think it's an abusive type of situation, to be honest.
Listen.
I really do.
No. I don't want him to get away from his father. I want to get him and his father the hell away from my sport of boxing.
True that.
Get down to the nitty and the gritty.
Yeah,
You
I can't
understand?
argue with that.
Because listen, you can take them out of the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of them. Huh? You remember you used to have establishments that have a sign on the window: no shirt, no shoes, no service. You don't see that no more, do you?
No.
And you see people walking in establishments looking almost any kind of way now.
Bringing their dogs in, right?
Yeah. But see, when you had that was called decorum.
It's a standard.
If you take that away, what happens? Everything comes in.
Yeah. But that's why I asked, what did you think happens to him?
Understand. Did that work for you? Did that did that mean that when you saw those signs, did that apply to you, or did you already know that you were going to have your shirt and your shoes
Look,
on to go in to get to the service? You already know that,
I
right?
knew that because of my house, right? Because what happened in my
Check
house.
it out, though. Do you remember when C-19 hit? They were telling people, make sure you wash your hands.
I was already on that. Everybody I knew was already doing that. So we were raised that way.
No, but check this out. See, it's the little things. Why do you think that they were saying that?
I don't know.
I'm going to tell you.
Huh?
I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Because of the outbreak and the spread of illnesses, because they know that the majority don't.
Yeah, I mean,
See, if you do, it don't apply to you. But if you one of those people that don't wash your butt, don't wash your hands,
okay,
don't know how to sneeze and cough in the cuff of your elbow when you don't have, there's people out here. Did you see recently they had arrested a dude in Walmart walking through the vegetable section, spraying bug spray on the food?
Oh yes, I heard about that. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Somebody should have snuffed him right. What are you doing? You freaking idiot. But he thought it was funny, and not saying he was laughing because he wasn't, but he's filming himself in the store spraying produce with bug spray.
Yeah. More bug spray.
I was walking in that aisle and I saw that, I would be forced to say something. And I'm not sure I would say on the spot. But I mean, I could not hold myself because I'm in there. I shop there. I'm going to be buying something here. And it's like, I got to see this kind of foolishness.
I know what I'd say. I know what I'd say.
But what I'm saying, I don't know what I'd say because it's not going to be nice. It's not going to be pleasant. We may end up grumbling. It's just that simple. And I'm not saying it like, oh, I'm Billy Badass.
No, I know what you're saying.
Because it's like, imagine if you don't see it and you come behind him and you gathering something and you putting it in your bag or whatever, and you smell it like, hey, this kind of smell not right. Then you get word that this is what happened. You have children, you have family. Everybody gonna get sick. Everybody might die. It's for foolishness.
From one individual. Yep, I get it.
All these people need to be dealt with. Stop messing around and he kind of is suffering from mental illnesses. Not yet, because I ain't hit him upside with this monkey wrench.
Oh man, story.
No. Let him be suffering from mass hemorrhages from the skull. Huh? Maybe then that's what he's talking about. Yeah. I'm sorry, but we got to get back to putting your foot in somebody's ass to stop all of the bullshit.
Standards.
If don't nobody want to say it, I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
Huh? It's like, this is freaking ridiculous. So Schofield and his dad, get them the hell out of boxing. Get them out. What good are they doing in the sport? What good?
None. I'll say none. I did still feel like something was wrong with that boy. I felt like he was abused. But he's an adult. I said that at the same time. He is an adult, and you have the option to walk away if you are in that type of situation. He's 20-something, right? So
I don't have.
Yeah, you're right. Both of them need to go.
Care and concern about abuse in his household and all of that foolishness, because you know what? They say he got a little boy himself now.
He
does. A little bit himself. So what you doing? You just procreating and making more foolishness for the world, huh? Because you done already kicked it off. When is it gonna stop? When?
A lot of times it don't.
Somebody laying down with these guys, procreating with them.
Yeah.
If no, it's time to pump the brakes, man.
I agree.
And his dad, all the foolishness he's been talking,
Yeah,
and everything, even before we got to this point, you know, because people got names they call them and all that. I ain't calling them no name except for a damn fool. But it's like, I don't have time for that. Get out of here with that. Get out of here. Because there are other fighters who are ready to step up to the plate and bring what they can to the sport.
I definitely want to see some repercussions, though. I really do. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And I want it to hurt. I want it to be painful. Meaning, like, I want them to suffer from, like, oh, damn, they did it. Yeah. You didn't think about what you was doing. I feel the same way about drug cheats. And I feel the same way about these other folks who are trying to one up and get over on somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I want people to pay, man. I want them to pay because you know what? What is so wrong about working hard?
Nothing.
What is so wrong about earning merit?
Nothing. And the guys that do that, a lot of times they are getting the shaft, and it's tiresome. It's tiresome to watch it. So yeah, I do. I hope that there are repercussions. That examples need to be made of people all across the board with all the stuff that's going on. And like I said, and for certain individuals who don't want to participate fully in the sport, those individuals should not be allowed to harbor belts. Like I said, it's just so much going on, and it's a bunch of crap. It's tiresome. Because it's always drama, and I don't like drama.
I'm going to put this up here one more time, and then we can move on to some other fights on the card. But look at this foolishness. Just look at that.
Yeah, I've seen that, man.
Now, they did this. But then the doctor comes out and said there was absolutely nothing wrong with him.
Yeah, he was just taking a nap, and his dad took a picture right there.
But with all these wires and tubes and everything, trying to make it look like, you know, he was, man, if you don't get all the way the hell up out of here. Seriously.
And then the next day to come back out, that's why I say when I heard that, it's like my stomach dropped. I really felt ill when I heard that he came out and said, oh, he's sorry and he's turning to God. I was just like, here we go again with the Ryan crap. You guys bring this religious stuff in there to try to sugarcoat the crap that you just, it's sickening, man. It's sickening. It's a sickness. It really seems like a sickness.
That's why I love my man Charles Bronson in those Death Wish movies. Because he asked the guy, he's like, do you know Jesus? And the guy said, no. He's like, well, you're going to meet him. And you know what came after that? He sent him on his way. Yeah. That's what they need. That's what they need. See, because then people can look and be like, oh, they ain't playing no more. Yeah, we ain't playing no more. We ain't trolling. We ain't trolling. Yeah.
I don't feel bad.
When you can put it down like and be like, hey, this is what it is, then it's like, oh, man, they ain't cutting no slack. No, we're not. No, we're not.
We don't live in that society, though, Stormy. Oh, my goodness. Slack is being cut.
Whoa, wait a minute. Listen to what you just said.
We don't.
We don't live in that society, Stormy. But what society do we live in? Where they do this?
Yeah, Stormy. I mean, I don't like it, but that's the reality of what's been going on, right?
So
they've been letting stuff slide.
When you gonna stop it? When you gonna stop it? You just gonna let it keep going until it's affecting you and your family and everything?
I try. Well, I'm not saying that I do. I mean, I try to do my part. I don't pay for bullcrap fights. It's a lot of stuff I think I try to do, but the bulk of majority of people it just rolls off, and the mess continues. So then, how do we?
Enabling assists with
I'm
these
not
things
an-
to happen to you, and then you be crying and everything. Oh, they took my baby. Oh, they did this too. And yeah, that's what happens, huh?
Yeah.
There's a there's a song by the Iceman, Jerry Butler. Only the strong survive. You ever listen to those lyrics in that song? It's old, but
I'm sure I have.
yeah.
I can't say I've listened to it recently. But
This is a little homework for you. Go and listen to Jerry Butler, the Iceman's "Only the Strong Survive."
okay,
Listen to them lyrics.
I will.
From a different time in this world, in this society. Some values don't need to be given up.
I agree with that.
Mm-mm.
But it's only a core group of people that are going to uphold. That's all the point I was trying to make. The bulk of people are going to just be okay with the bullcrap. Whether we
they have the advantage of it benefiting them. When things were tighter and people had to be more responsible, they wouldn't do certain things because there were consequences. You know, when there's no consequence, I'm gonna walk into McDonald's with my pants pulled down around my ankles. Huh?
Yeah.
And what they gonna say? Oh, look at that crazy man. He's not crazy. He just decided to do something to trigger people and to get up. And it's like,
And most people won't do nothing, like the man spraying the bug spray, and then nobody do. Yeah.
But imagine this. He was doing that, right? I'm going to paint a perfect picture for you here. He was doing that and filming himself doing it. I'm in Walmart spraying the produce with bug spray. What if somebody who had been in the sporting goods section of the store, maybe getting ready to buy a baseball mitt and an aluminum bat for their son or nephew or grandson or whatever, and they were passing him when he was doing that, and they took that aluminum bat. You know what I'm gonna say, Shop?
When upside somebody
they took that aluminum bat and sprayed the rest of the produce with cerebellum. Do you know what cerebellum is?
Of course.
Yeah.
Brain matter. Yeah.
Yeah. So what if that occurred? Do you think? And caught on tape. Okay, caught on film. He was filming that, and he filmed his own demise too. What do you think that would do to the next idiot that may have thought?
It's a deterrent. It's a deterrent. Okay. That's why I said examples need to be made. I don't know if I go that extreme.
I would.
I mean, you could take that.
You know why? Because I'm sending a message. Huh?
Brain matter.
Yeah.
That might be worse
for the police to come and tell them, listen, y'all was taking too long.
Stormy, you could just simply take the aluminum bat and hit that hand with the bug spray and not
hit him in the head. You know why? Because there's nothing going on up there to begin with.
I know.
Mm-hmm. That's for you. Oh, he didn't need that. He didn't need it.
Oh, shoot, I think Queen might like that.
Queen says it might take 2 more idiots to get that message across. Well, hey, if we could get 3 more, we could have a home run, huh? Yeah. That aluminum bat, put it to work.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, yeah, I'm not in disagreement with you. An example needs to be made for sure, but more people need to get behind that. A lot of people just let stuff slide, and it's
yeah.
Then they be trying to take you to jail, saying you were in the wrong for taking it too far in your correction. So we just
I
live
would
in a
tell
soft
them,
serve world. That's all I'm saying.
my defense would be, I'm just trying to save the produce section. One store.
Good luck with that.
Hey, can't be no more crazier than what he was doing.
I agree.
But I stopped it.
Woo. Yeah,
They'd be like,
cerebellum and
hey,
bug
this the
spray.
guy that
Cerebellum and bug spray on the fruit. Which one?
and don't let me get real crazy on him and tell him, why'd I do it? I'm Batman.
Where's that Wayne? Where's the jab jamboree? He would love that.
Yeah, Ack would love that, wouldn't he?
Yeah. He'd love to say that too. Yeah. I hear you, Queen. I hear you. I guess I'm just a softie. I live with someone like you.
Say Queen, she be ready too,
I live with somebody like you though. I live with somebody like you who's done stuff like that to correct.
Sometimes it's necessary. That don't even make you evil.
No, I'm not saying I don't think the person I live with. I'm just saying sometimes maybe I'm the opposite side where I'm trying to reel that person back in because he be ready to go Punisher mode, and I'd be like, wait a minute though, just
Yep, the Punisher. That's
we
another
need you here. We need you here still.
Yeah.
Woo.
He said sometimes you have to go too far to get the message across. There you go. I remember growing up in grade school. We had a teacher, and she kept one of them tri-rulers in her drawer, the old wooden ones, and she would break that ruler out when you were, being a disruption in the class. And kids were afraid to mess up, were afraid to say something. Like when she says quiet, they knew that she'd go in that drawer and pull that ruler out and everybody be sitting up straight and everything. And I'm like, even now at my age, I remember that as a kid. And I'm like, but we made it through that class. Good. We learned our lesson. It's like, but I understood what she was doing. But you got parents out here today to be like, she better not touch my child. I'm going to get you and your child. You understand? It's like, because y'all ain't contributing nothing to society. Look at the Schofields. Look at them. That's what it becomes.
Yeah.
It gets to that point fast. Some people be like, oh, I don't know how we got here. I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the parent that says, you know what? Have your way with him because, I told him. And then you be like, oh, my parents betrayed me. But you'll stop that. You'll stop.
That's right.
You'll stop.
Look, I never started because I already knew what I had to deal with in my house if I got started in school. So it's like,
you ever been in the classroom and then you see somebody's parent come up to the classroom and you're like, oh, somebody finna get it. Who mama is that? Who daddy is that? And you just looking around.
Yeah.
And the first person who act like they studying. That's the one whose parent it is. Here they are. They holding their book up.
Yeah, everybody else. A lot of times, when I was young, we knew who people's parents were.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already knew whose mom and daddy that. Ooh,
man. I had a classmate. His name was Victor. Victor was something else. He used to go like to look at the teacher's record book. And and back then they had y'all like your name, and then they'll have your parents' name. right there next from your name in the record book and stuff. So it's like Victor used to love to go. People he messed with in class, he'd go read what their parents' name was, and he would call you by your parents' name. He won't call you by your name.
Oh, no.
So if you know one guy, his mom's name was Viola, and he would always call the guy's name was Eugene. He'd say, Viola. Eugene get mad. He's like, man, Victor always called him by his mama's name, and he just crack up laughing. And he, come on, Viola. You know,
it could be fight words.
Fights and stuff. But I remember those days because it was like we just grew up doing this stuff. It was crazy. It was something else. It was really something else. But anyway, let's get back to the fight card. Which fight on the card are you most excited about to see? Would you say?
You know what? To be honest, I was actually excited about all but one. I was like equally excited about all except for Buatsi and Callum. I just have a feeling about Buatsi sometimes. But everybody else. But now that things have changed, I don't know, Stormy. Definitely want to see the rematch of Better Be Even Bivol. Agit and Zhang. Very excited to see how that plays out because I really am hoping Caballero can prove what I think he is in my mind.
Yeah.
I'd say those two for now. Yeah. Since other stuff changed.
I was really looking forward to Parker and Dubois. But now that Dubois is not in there, they're bringing Bacoli in. But
yes,
I'm not sold on Bacoli. And the fact that he's taking it on a short notice and probably really hasn't been training, but he's looking to take the fight, you know, like he's a big bad dude or something.
I think he thinks he is.
Yeah, and that could work out very bad for him, for a guy that's been training for the past 12 weeks.
I hope it does. I'm not even gonna lie. I hope Parker goes upside his head. Like, woo. I really do.
Yep. And people will be dismayed by that because it'll be like, well, Parker really smashed Bacoli, but it's like Bacoli didn't have no training. But anyway, you know, but to replace that fight, I think the Ortiz-Madrimov fight is a very key fight.
Totally forgot about that one. Woo.
Yeah, and I think that Madrimov going to teach this boy a lesson. I think he's going to teach him a lesson.
I don't know how I forgot about that fight because, you know, I did that video about the Russian fight. Man, I love me some Madrimov. I said I'm jaded by that whole Eastern European style, but he's just a little bit different with it. I totally forgot about that. And I think Virgil is a little bit of a hype job.
Oh, Virgil, listen. Virgil lost to Bohachuk.
Absolutely he did.
He lost that fight. He was dropped twice, and they still found a way to give him the decision and everything. Now, wasn't Parker dropped twice against Zhang?
Yeah.
And they made it a draw or something? They did?
I think that was a draw.
Yeah. So it's like, why did they give Virgil a victory over Bohachuk? And though he was busy throwing punches, Bohachuk was catching a lot of the punches on his gloves and arms and stuff. He was defending very well.
Bohachuk took body shots. Everybody loved to say, oh, them Eastern Europeans don't take. He was eating them things like Peggy. He's eating them. So either Virgil ain't that or Bohachuk is that. One of the two.
And then he comes back in his next fight, Bohachuk I'm talking about, and he beat the crap out of the dude that he was fighting in this next fight because it was like he wanted to prove a point, like, y'all didn't give me my victory in this other
Mhm.
fight. So I'm gonna show you what I'm working with. And he beat that dude up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, Madrimov and people are saying like, okay, his fight against Bud. Not that I'm gonna relive it or anything because it's already a done deal. But people shouldn't misjudge Madrimov's abilities because of the fight that he had with Bud. And I'm going to tell you why. Bud is crafty enough, experienced enough, a good boxer enough to make Bohachuk be hesitant about going all out to win. Once the snake charmer does that, he's in control. Bud hit him a couple of times with some stuff that made Madrimov say, you know what? I'm just gonna stay right here within this place and space because this guy's good. And if I try to open up, I'm gonna give him opportunities to get me.
I said that about him too.
It happens in fights.
Mm-hmm.
But he could understand, even with all his amateur experience and everything, Bud brought something he hadn't seen professionally. And guys, they don't often take the risk to get the reward. Let's put it in a different sense. If Bud was down, behind, or in a place where they say, man, this is too close, we got to do something, he would have. But they were good with where they were because they felt like they were controlling the fight. Against Virgil is very impulsive. He'll try to do some things, even if the advantage for him to get something done is not there or whatever, and he will fall into traps.
Get greedy.
Yep. And I can see that happening in this fight. And if he thinks that Madrimov's gonna fight him like he fought Bud, that's not gonna happen.
No, I try to tell people that about Madrimov too, and that whole Madrimov Bud fight. Both of them, I feel like, were very cautious in their approach to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Madrimov, I've never seen him fight anyone the way he fought Bud.
No.
And I don't think he will approach this fight. Madrimov really is not just a one-trick pony.
Right.
He can actually give you different looks, and some of those guys that are Eastern European don't. But he's a little bit unorthodox. I like that about him.
Yeah, he's very versed, and he can fight in a couple of different styles. He can do that. And Virgil is more one-dimensional than that.
Yes.
It's like it's really interesting because they've brought him along like he's a real tough guy, tougher than what he really is. He had trouble with Kavaliauskas before he ended up stopping Kavaliauskas. Kavaliauskas had got him in trouble, remember?
Yeah.
And he was stumbling around and hurt and everything. And I'm like, uh-oh.
Kavaliauskas, was that before? Yeah, that was before he got sick.
Yeah.
Before he got sick.
Yeah.
Because he was knocking everybody out. That's why everybody was hyped on him.
And I told you, it's more important to know how to fight
than knock
people out.
But people love that. And they would say, people don't really love the sweet science like they say they do. They like knockouts. They like sensational fights, and that's fine. I don't. I don't mind knockouts, but yeah, okay.
Now, another fight on that card, that Hamza Shiraz taking on Carlos Adames. That's a good fight. My video earlier this week, I talked about it, and Shiraz, he changed as a fighter in that Ammo Williams fight.
Yeah, I heard you say that.
because Ammo had this reputation,
Hmm.
and Shiraz was a little cautious going into that fight, and he was cautious during the fight. But then there was a point where he had hit Ammo with a couple of shots,
Yeah,
and he got confidence behind it,
because he
and he
hurt him.
began to, yeah, he began to step it up. And then next thing you know, but once he did that, it changed him.
It
It
changed
changed
that
his
fight.
disposition, because his next couple of fights, he was still, he was still in that mode. I think that Adames hasn't been tested at the top level of the sport. This will probably be his first top level fighter. You know, Shiraz is just from another country, but he's
Right.
at that same level. One of these guys are gonna move ahead as a victor, but I think I lean more towards Shiraz because he can do a few more things. He's got the height and the reach and the
Yeah.
length, and he can establish range and distance.
Yeah.
Adames has got to get close to him to be effective.
But you said something else in your video. You said, and it's true, he can fight within range as well, though, Shiraz.
Yes,
I don't like
but
Shiraz.
see, that's the funny part, because that's going to be the surprise to Adames.
You think
When
so?
he
You
does
think they
it-
study
Well,
this?
I think, no, because you know what? You could be tall and rangy,
Mm,
but not necessarily be able to throw short shots.
yeah,
Shiraz can throw short shots.
and get the good leverage, yeah. Because
You
that's
know,
the thing with the tall,
and,
right?
and that's where, again, remember, when you're on the outside, like Adames he's 5'11". This guy is 6'3".
Mm-hmm.
He's got to get to this guy within a certain range. And if he's catching certain shots on the way in, once he's on the inside, he's gonna look to, kind of stay there or whatever. But that's when he gonna find out the surprise, like, oh shoot, this guy can punch in close too. See, Deontay Wilder wasn't noted as a short puncher. He
Right.
was noted as a mid-range to length puncher. He
Right.
can catch you at a certain distance. He'll fire your butt up.
Right.
So Shiraz can punch short shots.
I like Fandora.
Well, yeah, but see, with Fandora, the difference is he likes to fight close. He don't like, so he's more comfortable doing that.
Yeah. I think that
You
was
got a
big-
guy who is adept at doing both.
Mm.
He's double dangerous. You got to pick your poison.
His team should still know this, though, Stormy. They should have been studied this man to see this and account for it.
You've heard me talk about these trainers up today not being much of anything. Listen, I already know what they thinking. Oh, he from the UK, and they being listen.
They
The
ain't
UK
right.
is really churning out good fighters right
It
now.
is. I
They
agree.
really are. And American fighters are not fighting like they should.
I agree with that as well.
The level of training in the US has dropped. So what you're seeing is there are still some pretty good to great trainers in the US, but they're not working on this card Saturday. The guys that are in question, they're not. Adames has been in the gym with people like Bud. So he sparred with Bud and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Bud ain't 6'3" and don't have an 80-inch reach either.
I don't know nobody in their camp that got that going on.
Exactly.
But
But I'm just saying, it's so funny to see some of these guys and how dismissive they can be toward other fighters. It's like, but and Shiraz, I said this in my video, he's got a look in his eyes.
he's
I see-
hungry.
Yeah, I see that look from certain fighters in the past, and I'm like, he has that look. It's like it's a focus. It's a bit of it's a quiet, silent confidence. He's not a braggart like he said at the presser today. He's not one of those guys that's gonna talk a lot of shit. He's just gonna go in there and go about his business. But when he hits you, it's with purpose. It's like, I can see the intensity. I recognize it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And there's not a lot of guys who have that. There's some guys who have what I would call false confidence and stuff. That comes from beating up on guys that, on paper you were supposed to get them anyway or whatever. But Shiraz he's operating on a different level, and I think he's gonna show us something Saturday. I think so.
I definitely have him winning that fight. Definitely. And I still feel a way about Shiraz, but yeah, I want him to move up. But that's a man. He's gonna do what he's gonna do. He's just so big.
And this is the funny thing, because he was going to be Janibek's mandatory, and he switched over to the WBC. By switching over to the WBC, there's a great chance that he could win this title. If he wins this title, I wouldn't be surprised within 2 more fights after this fight that he goes up against Janibek, because I think Janibek was a more difficult fight for him, and not because of styles, but because of the experience.
Right.
Like, him winning against Adames is going to give him a certification that he's a world title holder now, and he would approach a guy like Janibek a little differently, and then he going in as a simple challenger.
Yes.
It's funny. It's kind of hard to explain that, but there's a point to what I'm saying.
No, I totally understand what you're saying. Yeah. It puts him in a whole nother realm of his experience and his ability, and as well as other people looking at him as a threat. So I get it.
See, it's like when Bud moved up to 147, right, from 140. If they had tried to fight him then, they probably would have had a better chance of defeating him than allowing him to grow into the weight class and become more confident and comfortable,
right?
Yeah, and I always felt that the person at 147 that would give Bud the trouble was not Errol Spence. I always thought it would be Keith Thurman.
We'll never know.
Well, we won't know now, but back then, then, that's what I was
Keith
saying.
Could be a problem for anybody. Keith,
his athleticism, the fact that he's got pop on his punches, and he's not going to just stand and trade with you, but if he were to take a stand at any given moment, he can hit you with something that'll hurt you too.
Yeah.
It's like, and plus he Thurman is a very smart fighter. He is very intelligent. He'd make a great color analyst for talking about the sport, because he can break stuff down. But it's just that he got to that point in his career where he didn't want to compete as much as talk, and it happens to guys.
So it happens a lot.
Yeah. But that's who I thought would have given Bud a trouble. But now, you said that you didn't care too much about Buatsi and Callum.
I do, but I don't.
What's interesting about that is that's a UK fight. That's an all UK guy.
Right.
You got one guy in Mundo, Callum Smith, that they really like him still. They really like him.
I know they do.
And he can fight.
I agree.
Buatsi is more of an enigma. It's like you kind of don't know what's going on with him. It's like
that's why I say it pisses me. That fight kind of pisses me off, because I think Buatsi has great potential to be something greater than he is, but he does not push himself to go to that extra level. It frustrates me to watch in that last fight. It's like you won, but show that there's levels. Show that, hey, no, I'm a step better than you, man. Like, he frustrates me.
Yeah.
And I think, to be honest, I think Callum could walk away with this because of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And if he's not careful and he lets Callum get some extension on those shots, Callum can hurt him because he can still punch,
Yeah.
and he's rangy too, 6'3",
Yep.
ability to box. And Buasi doesn't strike the fear in him like Canelo did, being a guy that wants to get in close with you. So I think he would take even more risks against Buasi than he did with Canelo.
I think so too, because again, I think Callum probably see the same thing I see. This man ain't willing to go that extra little step up, and he just might be. He don't got nothing. He got 2 losses. He ain't got nothing to lose. He ain't coming there to play with Boise, so he better show up and show out, or just take that L. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a good fight, though, to be honest. So, I'm just saying that it's a little.
Yeah, I expect it to be a pretty good fight. Now, Big Bang Zhang. Your thoughts on Zhang and Cabiel?
I think I said it earlier. I expect Cabiel to do what I think he could do in my mind. He definitely knows how to beat up bigger men. I definitely believe he has a very good IQ of his own, aside from his corner being a good corner, and he knows how to adjust from what I've seen on his own, on the fly. So, and he's faster than Zhang. So I think, and he can move. So I think that he has what it's gonna take. Angles off on this man, staying out of the way, or at least to be a little defensive. I think Aggie can get it, man. I got him winning too.
He's on a 5 fight stoppage.
That I don't see though. I don't know.
Well, this is the thing about Zhang. Zhang is 41 now.
Yeah.
And his gas tank empties.
Yes, it does.
And it doesn't empty late in the fight.
Second round.
It empties early.
He's tired in the second round.
And if you look at him, you could tell he don't eat right. He's like Zhang, like all the moo pie and everything that he can have. Crab rangoon, he eats it all. And it shows in his body. It's like there's not a muscle there. It's all just
He's just big. Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you something. Ajit knows how to punch to the body, and I had said a few times, he reminds me of Ray Mercer, the young Ray Mercer.
I like Ray Mercer.
He was spry. Ray Mercer would spring into these shots on you and overwhelm you. And Cabiel reminds me of Ray Mercer. Now, he doesn't fight like him, but there are elements of what Mercer was able to do successfully that I see him doing. And guys like that are always dangerous, especially if they can punch too. And he can punch. You see, Parker was trying to kind of stay away from Zhang a little bit, everything, but Cabiel ain't gonna do that. He gonna get in that dude's grill.
Yeah, he gonna fight him.
He gonna fight him.
I just don't know if he knocks him out. I don't know about that one.
Well, remember this about fights.
Okay.
When the blows start landing, things can factor in. My brother Curtis Anderson used to always talk about the intangibles in fights. Intangibles can be anything from a broken nose, a broken cheekbone or eye socket, a cut eye, things that you didn't anticipate happening. Right. And now the fighter has to deal with these shortcomings.
Right.
That's why you always leave room for things like that. And I believe that Cabiel, though he's shorter and won't weigh as much as Zhang, he can make Zhang pay for not being in shape. He can make him pay for not having the proper stamina, and he can make him pay for allowing the other guy to hit him. Because Zhang will let you hit him. He will.
Yeah, he does. He does. He is hit for sure.
And in the heavyweight division, don't be letting nobody hit you. And these guys, they go out there and they do this foolishness, and next thing you know, somebody's in trouble.
If he's not
like Cabiel, Daniel Dubois, and there's a couple of others. It's like looking at those guys. They only are looking at the guys who are real big and stuff. It's like I've always the fighters who are around 6'2", 6'3", those are always going to be the best because they're right at that size where all of their attributes are functionable in the most efficient and effective manner. It's almost like looking at a guy like Kobe or Michael. They're 6'6", 6'7", and that's the perfect height to be as athletic as they were, be able to handle the ball like they can, and move around in that lane with strength and power and speed. You know, because a guy like LeBron, yeah, he's big and strong, but he's a big dude.
He's big, yeah.
You know, and that's don't necessarily equate to the other aspects of the game of what I'm talking about with these guys. So yeah, I believe that Cabiel and look at Usyk. Usyk is basically the undisputed champ, and he's 6'3", 220 some pounds.
Yeah.
You see, he's right there in that area what I was talking about.
Like a sweet spot.
Yeah. Joe Louis was 6'1", Ali was 6'3", Larry Holmes was 6'3", Lennox Lewis was 6'5", Holyfield was 6'2.5". We're talking about the best of those guys, you know, right within that range, you know.
Okay, I'm gonna have to take that into consideration when I think about heavyweights going forward, looking at them that size, that particular. Yeah, because the real big dudes be lumbersome and they be a little slow.
And they all of them have stamina issues. All of them.
Yeah.
Because they weren't really built for this.
Not for speed, that's for sure.
It's different if you play in a different sport. But in fighting,
when you're that big,
the big guys, you can make them pay in such a way that it's totally different. The philosophy. It's just like when Bruce Lee had invited Kareem to play in his film Game of Death with him. There's a line of dialogue that he speaks about Kareem's character in the film. Kareem is tall, long, can get him at distance with kicks and stuff. But he said, when I knock him down, every time I knock him down, he's going to find it hard to get up because he's a big guy.
Big
guy getting up is not like a little guy getting up, you know? And it's kind of similar in boxing that when you get a big guy winded, he can't hold those long, lanky arms up like that. And, you know, his legs become more like he's standing in sand or whatever. And you can take advantage. You can do certain things. But it takes work to get to that point. But when you understand the philosophy of that and you're able to make it work for yourself, then you can begin to have the success that you labored for. But it takes a little work to get to that point.
That makes sense.
A lot of people don't understand that. This is called a sweet science for a reason.
Yeah, that makes sense. It really does. It's, you want, you know, the point is to beat the opposition. You would want to have a strategy to do so. That would seem likely for someone who is that big. That's what I say. If you're that big anyway, what are you good at? You said there's sports for that. I'm thinking what? Besides maybe a basketball, but when you're that big,
well, see, for big guys like Zhang would made a good offensive lineman in football.
Oh, football, yeah.
Football, you know.
I watch football.
but and understand that the linemen, they have bursts of speed every down within 3 to 5 yards.
Right.
After that, if you're making them run beyond that or
That
whatever,
ain't
they
gonna happen. That makes sense.
yeah, sub. You
Yeah.
know, so
Okay.
it's the same principle in philosophy, the same. But yeah, I do believe that these are good fights. You know, all of them, and all of them could be a main event. Now, Shakur versus Josh Padley.
Mm.
Padley is going to give him a couple of rounds, but
Yes, Steph.
how much in shape Padley can be is not, you know, is not known, and it wasn't like he was training for a fight because he wasn't. But Shakur better not play with this guy.
I don't think so either.
Because if he does, what's going to happen is you make the bravery come out of that guy, and
Like we saw with Chamberlain.
yeah, you make the bravery come out of the guy, and next thing you know, you can be in a tougher fight than you meant to be in. And then if he figures out that you're not as tough as he might have thought,
He gonna go for the gusto.
it builds the confidence. Like when I said about Shiraz against Mo Williams, you know, it's like you don't play with these guys. You make him realize, oh, that's why we got levels.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you make him feel like he's at home, and I just watched that Chamberlain fight again a couple hours back, you know, yeah, it's like Chamberlain was doing okay until he wasn't.
Until he wasn't, yeah.
You know,
I thought Chamberlain was gonna win going in, but I didn't know about Padley. So
right,
yeah.
And see, Padley, he just kind of he found a space to be effective and just remain in the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Once you can do that, that's why I said about Shakur better not present this guy with something that makes him feel like, oh, you're not as tough as I thought you were.
Yeah.
You're not as world class as I thought you were.
Yeah. I would think if Shakur was smart anyway, right off top, yeah, get in there and pop him with some good stuff, because it just the whole narrative that's been flying around with him the past few fights.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that, you know, you were getting ready to fight a guy who actually had close to the same amount of fights as you, but in essence, he's still your junior. You were supposed to go in there and school him. So if you don't go in there and school somebody who we would probably think is less than even a Schofield, boy, he gonna have problems. But I don't foresee that.
But see, this is the funny thing. Padley may be a fighter that could give Schofield a hard time. You know,
possibly.
He is an undefeated fighter. He's 29. He ain't 22, and he's no chump. You know, I keep talking about the UK fighters being a lot tougher than they're given credit for being, and a lot of the US fighters are not as tough as they are advertised or whatever. Yeah. You know, it's one of the reasons why these guys don't get in the ring and fight one another. Guys in the UK fight each other. They have rivalries and stuff from the amateurs, and they still get in there and fight each other. US fighters be like, huh?
He's not afraid to mix it up.
No.
Not at all. That's what I'm saying. No. That's why I keep telling people he could probably be just as exciting as people thought that Schofield was gonna be, because he doesn't fight with fear. And I definitely don't think he's gonna go in there thinking, oh, it's Shakur. Nah, that man trying to go in there probably ain't.
Like I said, and Shakur isn't noted as a blazing puncher or anything. So if he gets to a point where he says, oh, this guy ain't what I thought. Do you understand? That will change everything. And then there's another X factor. If it was true that back in October, when he pulled out of the fight with Cordina, it was due to alleged bad hand that he had to have it addressed surgically or whatever. This is his first fight since having alleged treatment for the hand or whatever. What if something happens and that hand goes dead? You know, like if he re-injures it or something like that. Now you still got a different type of scenario. You see what I say about those intangibles?
We gonna see an Edwin situation, but Padley's not the type of fighter that's gonna just faint at you and follow you around. He gonna
take some chances
at him.
Yeah, he's gonna take chances. And
Right.
you know, Edwin De Los Santos, if he had just gone for it, who knows what would have happened? But he never did. He was just sitting back waiting on Shakur.
Exactly.
And Shakur was hoping that he wouldn't do nothing, and that's how the fight went.
That's why I said it was not all on. That was on both of them.
Both sides, yeah. But Padley is a guy that he will try some stuff. But if it's such a clear-cut level disparity, then Shakur can establish something to make him like put a dog in its place, so to speak. But again, we've seen certain stories play out. You know, as the narratives change.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie though. I'm rooting for Shakur, and I'm praying that he does come out that corner from the jump and pop this dude. Don't play with him. Let him know what's up, and let him know. Yeah, give me some space, because I might hurt you. Even though, because again, they call these guys pillow fists. Ain't nobody about to get in there and find out. It's not like we saw what he did to Evanesian's face and stuff. So he's not a total. He ain't no pillow fist. He can hurt you.
Yeah, he's a sharp puncher, and sharp punchers can always do certain things. They can cut you. They can, bump you up, lump you up. And Bacoli coming in, I already said about him. It's like, Parker should just handle that business. He should. But who else we got on that?
Just the last two. Oh, this guy. I'm not familiar with some of the smaller guys.
Well, we didn't talk about Arthur and Dimitri.
Yeah, that's just the last one. Oh boy. I still got better be. That's all I'm gonna say.
Me too. And everything I said in favor of Better Be the first fight, I think is actually gonna happen in the second fight. I think that Dimitri gonna, show up and try to, fight harder and better. But I think that Arthur's knee is totally healed now. Cause see, he's not the kind of guy that's gonna talk about that, but he wasn't 100% going into that fight coming off of that torn meniscus. He was not.
He wasn't moving like himself, that's for sure.
Because he's got this little daintiness that he does where he can dance around a guy and skip. He did it to Callum Smith, slide over and stuff. He wasn't doing that. He was kind of following Dimitri around.
He did follow him.
Yeah. So in this fight, when Dimitri realized, oh shit, his movement is different, because that's what's gonna you know what I mean. It's just like for guys that play basketball, if you got a bad knee, it limits you to what you can do.
You ginger on it.
Yeah, but not just being ginger on it. It's like you're not gonna make certain cuts and moves because it could give out on you or something like that. You don't want to, but then like if you're healed from whatever the injury was or whatever,
and it's good.
It's good. You can move like you want to move, and you don't think about it. You just do it. Where Dimitri's gonna run into some problems. because you think that was in August that they had to reschedule the fight to October. That's kind of fast coming off of the
4 weeks.
And
I got a question though.
Yeah.
Saying all this, because my whole thing that I kept thinking is, and I've seen some Bivol training, but to me it does not look like anything different from what you're already doing. So let's say Bivol increases his speed in some manner. What do you think Bivol could do that is different? Because I just don't see him fighting a different fight at all. I don't feel like he fought differently on the first fight than I've seen him fight.
Well,
maybe a little bit more
fervent. The way that he fights is he tries to get his shots off and not be there for receipts.
Boxing.
But against Beterbiev, he's got to land more convincing scoring shots. And now he's going in against a guy that is not limited with his movement in the rematch. So that Beterbiev may be able to set a trap or close the distance faster and much better in this fight, where in the other fight he couldn't do certain things.
Right.
And you saw how Dimitri's face looked from basically Beterbiev punching through his guard.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what people felt like,
we don't know what kind of physical effect that fight had on him, because the man can punch like the Dickens.
I know.
And in this second fight, he may just go all out on Dimitri. And if he does that, he definitely ain't going the distance. He's not. They have sparring partners, and I've heard the stories. I talked to John Scully, the assistant trainer and everything, the Iceman. They've talked about Arthur be going through sparring partners. They have to tell him to ease up. Otherwise, nobody's going to want to come and spar you, man.
Man, that's why I kept telling people, apparently you guys don't be watching Arthur, and you don't understand that man did not fight anything like he fights on a normal fight-to-fight basis. I recall one of the things that you said post-fight about him, as to maybe why not, and I still think that was a legit thing as well.
Yeah.
But now we're running this back, and I do feel like, and I know a lot of people felt like Dimitri did increase his output, and he did. It's not going to be enough. That's all I can say. How I feel like this is gonna come out. Beterbiev is about to go in there and lay down a track on Bivol. And people will be, I don't know, I wouldn't be shocked, because I think he's gonna do what he usually does.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I
what
think
he usually does is enough for people to not make it go the distance.
Exactly.
And when almost each and every time when he stops someone, 7th, 8th, 9th round, he be thinking in his mind, I'm just getting warmed up.
It seems like it.
No, he
really
said it.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, when he fought Anthony Yarde.
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
You know, the corner stopped the fight. I think that was the 7th or 8th round.
Yeah.
And they stopped the fight because Arthur was coming on big time. So the corner threw the towel in. He had dropped him, and he got back up inside the count, and they resumed fighting. And then he landed a couple more hard shots, and the counter just threw the towel in.
They already knew what was coming.
When Arthur went back to his corner, he told his corner man, he was holding his arms up like this. He was like, I was just getting warmed up.
You can see it. You can literally see it. You can see it. And don't draw blood. Whatever you do not draw blood from Beterbiev.
And don't try to hurt him or something, because that's where Joe Smith and Callum Smith got the fight turned around on them.
Yeah, Callum is the one that knocked him down, right?
Huh?
Callum is the one that knocked him down, correct? The one knockdown he has.
No, that was someone else. But his knockdowns. Um, let me see. I'm gonna
It
go
was Callum. It was Callum. He was down in round 2 with Callum. As I said, I don't remember that fight. I'm talking about the what is the other guy too that drew blood and he lost it? Marcus Brown.
Marcus Brown.
Woo! He saw his own blood. That the black guy, the brother from where was Marcus Brown from? He drew blood on.
Oh, that was Callum Johnson that dropped him.
Oh,
Callum
okay. I knew it was a Callum though. I knew it was a Callum. Yeah, Marcus Brown is the one that cut him. And it's like he saw his blood and went ballistic. I was like, oh, you don't draw blood from better. You don't do that.
No.
Yeah. It's gonna be good.
Nature.
It's gonna be a good fight, man. I'm excited. And it's cheap, Stormy. Woo.
I know that is amazing, right? If we getting this fight for as little as we getting it with all of those matches on there, I'm like, man, these people better stop playing.
And this is just the main card, right? There's still gonna be prelims starting because
there's gonna be prelims that start at like 9:30 a.m. Central Time.
Yeah, it's gonna be 8:30 for me, so I'm gonna have to take myself to bed because I want to see the little guys on the prelims too, because them fights be good over there, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's gonna be what a day. But I'm not gonna hold you no longer there, Shaw. I appreciate you coming in to talk boxing with me because you've been doing some great stuff over there on your channel. And just tell everybody where they can find you on your channel.
Find me at Shawa Laya 77 right here on YouTube. I was gonna say something else. Right here. Yeah, I'm trying to get back in the groove. I had a grandbaby. I didn't even get to see the last couple of fights on Saturday.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's been a week, man. I'm tired. Trying to get back in the groove, but thanks for having me on, Stormy. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
I had a good time.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. To come on here and we can chop it up on some good boxing talk. I had put the link in the chat and nobody else come on, so it's like we were just handling the business. So, but it's a great. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk the fights up, a little bit. Everybody get excited for the fights this weekend. It's a shame that Daniel got ill.
Yeah.
And the Schofield thing went down like it did. But thank goodness the show isn't stopped.
I'm glad. I'm happy. And I can't wait for your post fight so we can all get in here and act crazy and talk about that because man, it's gonna be a good night. I know it is. Yeah.
It's gonna be a great night of boxing. I might even, because I haven't set my queue up for the post-fight show yet. I might, because I'm doing this on my Melon app. It's not StreamYard, it's Melon.
Yeah, so I see the difference.
I might do it on here, then I might be able to open the panel up again in case somebody want to come on and talk about the fights. Because, when they're like this and we got so many good ones, it's a joy to talk about it. You know what I mean? It's like I get real like gung-ho about it.
Before and after, I think so, man. It's exciting.
Yep. So it's like, man.
That's why I be trying to open mine. Don't nobody ever want to talk to me. But
it's not that. And sometimes when you go live, I be like at work and stuff, and I was like, man, I can't do it while I'm at work.
I know, and I'm spontaneous. I just pop up because I was gonna pop up tonight, but I was tired and I saw you were coming on, and I said I could go on after Stormy, but waiting for you to come on, I messed around and dozed off, and like I said, I woke up and I was like, oh, he's talking. Wait a minute. So yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm gonna get back in this chat because I know you probably need to go to bed to get to work tomorrow, huh?
Man, let me tell you, it's getting late for me. It's like my eyes are getting tight like a Chinese man. It's like, man, I'm ready to go.
My eyes already like that. Bye, Stormy. I don't talk about Chinese eyes. Bye.
Yeah, but thanks again for joining. Yeah, what a great show. Had a chance to talk some good boxing. The last Crescendo, the card is coming up this Saturday, February 22nd, with the headline of Artur Beterbiev taking on Dmitry Bivol. This is an outstanding card. We'll get a chance to see some great fights, and just know that the Saudis are doing it, man. They are delivering like nobody else at the moment. So we're gonna get ready to get on out of here in a moment, but I'm gonna take a quick moment so we can hear from our sponsors here. Yeah.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improve footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a Focus Ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a Focus Ball. When you train with the Focus Ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit, making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the Focus Ball now.
what it is. It's the Usual Suspect 650-50 draw. Buy your tickets now for your chance at winning half the pot. Cash App, $ Usual 50-50. Tickets are on sale for $10 for one, $20 for 3 tickets, and $50 for 10 tickets. Put your desired amount, name or alias, as well as your email address, and your tickets will be set. We announce the winning ticket numbers every other Friday on Supreme Beats Boxing Talk Bullshitting on the Beltway, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Remaining proceeds will go directly to the LDBC meet and greet in Las Vegas. Shout out to the LDBC, and remember,
It's a Usual Suspect day.
y'all know what it is. It's the Find the Boxer game. Purchase a box for a chance at winning $500. One of 54 boxes has a missing boxer inside. Purchase your box or boxes by Cash Apping $ Usual 50-50. Include your box number, name, and email address. Your box number will be confirmed and sent directly to your email. Each box is $20 with a 1 in 54 chance of winning. Remaining proceeds will go directly to the LDBC meet and greet in Las Vegas. Shout out to the LDBC, and remember,
It's a Usual Suspect day.
Yeah, so we come to an end of another Stormybman'S boxing raps. Yeah, where we talked about the last Crescendo. Yeah. So you guys look forward to this card Saturday. It's gonna be amazing. And thank you for everybody that tuned in. Thank you for Shower participating with me on the panel this evening. And we're going to get ready to close everything out. Appreciate everybody that came through. Smash the like button. And just know that we'll be back with a post-fight show after the fights on Saturday. Yeah. And, you know, with that being said, we're going to get on up out of here. Thank you. And look forward to the fights this weekend. Be safe.